So ZRL just changed the rules. Bike upgrades are now allowed. But if you've been outdoors for the summer or simply ignored upgrading your TT bike, let me show you 3 faster ways to unlock the bikes that matter. Zwift now lets you upgrade individual bikes. You have to buy the bike first with your hard-earned drops, but then you can upgrade it. There's 3 ways that you can do this. There's climbing, which usually applies to mountain bikes, so you have to climb a certain amount to upgrade each level. And then there's distance ridden, which usually applies to road bikes and gravel bikes. And then there's time ridden, which applies to most TT bikes, and I think actually all the TT bikes with the new update. Now, I'm not going to be concentrating on climbing because that doesn't really matter in ZRL. If you look at the mountain bikes, they're not that much faster than road bikes on gravel, and the gravel bikes are absolute beasts on the gravel. So you want a gravel bike if you're racing a ZRL on the gravel. So if you're racing in the jungle, or you're racing in Mercury, potentially there's a chance for a bike swap in Mercury, especially for the lower categories. For those who need more information, I'm not going to go into it because there is a lot of information. What I'll do is I'll link an excellent article by Zwift Insider in the description below. That'll go through more details because I assume most people who are watching this video do understand about the upgrades. Now I'll move on to the 3 methods. I'll start off with the one method which I think people aren't really aware of. There is obviously the Venttop descending, which people are doing, where they're joining riders who are already at the top and then descending, and you can potentially do this while not even on the bike. I'm not going to be advocating for something that's a little bit, let's say, that's very controversial in the community, but this method I think is pretty legit. Let me know in the comments if you think it is a cheat, because as far as I'm concerned, this is probably the most on the level way that you can earn the upgrades. I did make a video in the past where you can upgrade the TT bike simply by sitting on the couch, but Zwift closed that loophole for better or for worse. So there's no longer that possibility. So I think I've unlisted that video. So if you do come across that video, that does no longer work. And I did quickly check too, because people have been talking about it. I am going off script here, so hopefully I can round this up quickly. But the other thing is, if you join a pace partner and you get that free distance with the pace partner before your bike, like that 2 minutes or 1 minute that you get, that doesn't accumulate as time on the TT bike. It only accumulates once your bike starts coming to a stop. So it's probably a lot of waste of energy sitting on the couch constantly rejoining a pace partner. It's probably better off just riding. This is my top method. Now, you do need to have a little bit of foresight for this, because if you jump on the bike, it's probably quicker just to jump on with method number 2 or method number 3. But if you're on your way home or you're just having something to eat before you jump on the bike, what you do is you open up the companion app and you create a ride, a meetup. You only need to invite one other person. Now, you can probably invite someone who obviously knows that you're not intending to actually do a meetup with them, or you can just do what I do, which I invite my wife, Whitney's Zwift account that she never ever checks. So she won't be confused by the fact that I'm inviting her to a meetup. You're saying, come on, get to the chase, Ben, especially you, Peter McMullen. So the meetup I'm talking about is Innsbruck, and specifically the Lucia, I'm going to butcher it. Someone in the comments can let me know exactly how to pronounce it. Lucia counterclockwise meetup. Because what it does, if you don't create a meetup and you choose to do this course in the free ride, you'll start at the very bottom of the hill, which completely defeats the purpose of doing this. If you create a meetup, you'll actually start right at the top of the climb. The great thing about this is it gives you a free descent, as long as you can do some pedal strokes, which is why I think it's not as controversial as the non-pedaling methods. You do have to be on the bike and pedaling. And whilst you're on the bike, you might as well do some pedaling on the descent as you warm up. So this is where I recommend to do this as a warm-up before a race, or even just if you're doing a workout, part of your warm-up for a workout, or just your zone 2. And then once you hit the bottom of the hill, then you can do some kilometers. There's probably, I didn't investigate it too much, but you can probably do go to the bottom and ride around Innsbruck and come back. And over 20 minutes, you're easily going to be faster than method 2 or 3 for distance. And of course, for the TT bike, this is where it is maybe a little bit more controversial, but you've still got to be on the bike. You can jump on the bike, get the bike moving down the hill, and then you don't have to pedal. So say if you are about to do a race or a workout, but you have extra time that you have up your sleeve. So say you've come home from work earlier, it's the weekend, you can jump on your bike, pedal a few pedal strokes, send your rider down the hill, and it's 7 kilometres of free descent or something. The slower the rider goes, the better on the descent with the TT bike, but there's not much you can do. You can't sit there and keep pressing the brake. Well, you could if you really are a bit crazy. But what you do is you just send your rider down the hill, go on, top up your drinks, have a chat with your Discord team before you get on, and then once the riders hit the bottom of the hill, you can jump on your bike and start pedaling away, do your warm-up, and there's, I don't know what it is, 7 minutes free every time. And if you are super serious about doing this, you can do it before you go to work. When you come home from work, it's literally only sort of 30 seconds of pedaling, and you don't need to be dressed up. You just have to do 50 watts or something. So anyway, so that's method 1. Now, method number 2. I used to do this all the time when I was a much lower ranked Zwifter, when I was in my level 20 or so, along through the 30s, is that you start your ride using road to sky route. So you just select that in the free ride. Instead of going down into the jungle, you just hit U-turn, go back down the hill, and make sure when you get towards that big green banner that this reminds me, I think they've unlocked it actually. Previously, you had to be a certain level to be able to get into this stage. So as far as I'm aware now, it's fully unlocked. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong. But anyone should be able to access this route. So make sure you turn left when you get to that green wall, blocking people off from accessing this previously. You don't want to be going up the hill. You want to be going down. You want to be going down the bridge. So you turn left, and then you get some easy 3 kilometre descents at quite a fast speed, and then you're onto the flat. This is perfect for a warm-up where you just want to ride the bike for 5-10 minutes, and you don't want to have to join a pace partner where you're not even warmed up yet. And then you can decide if you then want to join a pace partner for method number 3, the good old tried and true, joining Coco or your favourite pace partner. This is more of a tip for absolute brand new riders, is that if you want to accumulate distance easily, don't ride alone, join a pace partner, build up those upgrades quickly. And I suppose this probably brings me into, for new riders, make sure that you don't blow all your drops straight away. Save your drops. The SL8, like the Specialized S-Works Tarmac SL8, that's the bike that you want. Save all your drops. You need to get to level 40. But if you can't wait to get to level 40, then the next bike I'd probably recommend is the Canyon Aero Road 2024. You can get to level 10. Getting to level 10 is quite simple. I will discuss at the end of the video ways to get to level 10 very quickly. But my advice is don't go and buy every single bike that you can with the drops. Save your drops. Keep your Zwift carbon bike and just ride it, because it's well worth just holding on a little bit until ZRL starts, so that you can have the best bike and the best upgrade for ZRL round 1, and the worst case scenario is round 2 and 3. And same thing with the TT bikes. So I'm not going to have a quick look on the TT bikes, but ZRL is always, I haven't seen the courses yet, but they do love to do team time trials now. The last season, there will seem to be 2 team time trials each round. So this is probably the biggest reason to use method 1 on for ZRL, is because a lot of people don't ride their TT bikes that often, and they missed the boat at the beginning of these upgrades where you could sit at the side of the road and get that upgrade completely for free. Or not for free, you had to pay a lot of electricity, but essentially for free. Free effort. Now, if this video was any help at you at all, please hit that that like and subscribe button because it does help the channel. And also let me know in the comments below if you've known already about this reverse Lucia trick. And also tell me, what bike are you upgrading to? Because I'm not quite sure if I'm going to start upgrading the Tron or whether I should keep the gravel. And I think this is one of the things I missed. ZRL hasn't given the courses yet, so it's well worthwhile, even if you've got a Tron, if you've got the best Tron, if you've got a Tron level upgrade 5, or you've got the SI upgrade 5, it's well worth thinking about upgrading your gravel bikes, because the gravel bikes are absolute demons on the gravel compared to the road bikes and the mountain bikes. And if there's going to be any gravel in a ZRL event, you're going to have a massive advantage if you've got the level 5 upgrade. Now, finally, I promised to explain how to level up really quickly if you need those XP points and as you're a new rider. It's in a video up here, riding the portals. And since I've been making that video too, Zwift has released events where you get double XP points. So keep an eye on that on your homepage. It'll be in a banner, or it should be anyway, highlighting the fact that there's XP point events, double XP point events available. So keep an eye on for that for those people that still need to level up their Zwift level, not their bikes. Anyway, so catch you in the next one. Peace out.